Hey guys, don't forget to share, it's help me if you share our channel. Chapter 1 One Piece World, See Circle Calendar 1503. Naval Headquarters. The current Marine Marshal Kong Kong frowned at the information from East Blue with a rather solemn expression. The era of the great pirates has been chaotic enough. Now there is such a mysterious incident. Mysterious creatures, Long Yin? Who the hell is doing the trick? After thinking about it, Kong picked up the phone. Bug, Kuzan, when Garp comes back, you ask him to come to me. Yes, Marshal. Not long after, a warship slowly docked, and a man with an explosive head about 3 meters tall and a lazy face walked to the port, facing the resolute and stalwart figure on the deck, with a respectful tone, Mr. Garp, the Marshal is looking for you. The stalwart figure on the deck is Marine hero Monkey D. Garp. When Garp saw the man with the afro, he immediately said cheerfully, Kuzan, when did you change your hairstyle? The man with the explosive head is Kuzan, the future Admiral Aokiji, and he is still an admiral candidate, but Garp noticed the problem with his hairstyle. Although Aokiji's hair was lush and messy before, it was not an explosive head. It's nothing, I just had a conflict with Sakazuki. Kuzan pouted, dissatisfied with the mad dog colleague who the pirates called Akainu. There is a big conflict between the ideas between the two. Haha, young people are really aggressive. Garp smiled and didn't care about the conflict between Aokiji and Akainu, it was a big fight. Whoever wins, who has reason? After a pause, Garp said, by the way, what is the Marshal looking for me for? Shouldn't I still be an admiral? It's been so many years, and he hasn't given up yet. I don't know about that, Mr. Garp, don't make the Marshal wait too long, I still have to go. After saying that, Kuzan stretched his waist lazily, and at a glance he knew that he was going to go to the sun. Well, it seems that the O'Hara incident has a deep impact on Kuzan. Garp shook his head helplessly, then landed in the fortress and walked towards the Marshal's office. Arriving at the Marshal's office, Kong rolled his eyes as he looked at Garp, who walked in with his nostrils buttoned. Garp, you can't pay attention to your image, you're a marine hero. Image? I don't care about my image. What do you care? With Garp's disdainful look on his face, Kong was immediately speechless. Okay, you don't care about your image, then you should care about East Blue. Kong snorted. East Blue, what happened to East Blue? Garp's heart tensed when he heard about East Blue, because his grandson was just born and is now in foster care in Windmill Village. See for yourself. Kong threw the information in his hand to Garp. This. Garp's expression changed as he saw the information in his hand. According to the information, about a week ago, a fog appeared in the sea near the Goa Kingdom of East Blue. It was not surprising that fog appeared at sea, but the fog persisted for a long time. There seems to be a flying dragon hovering in the fog, and from time to time it makes dragon roars and some weird calls. And as long as the ships and people that entered the fog disappeared mysteriously, no one came out, whether it was a merchant ship, a kingdom corps, pirates, or sailors. Live without people, dead without corpses. This incident has caused panic in the entire Goa Kingdom. The king of Goa Kingdom had no choice but to apply to the world government in person and have naval headquarters send someone to check. It seems that things are not easy. Garp frowned, then said solemnly, leave this to me. The Goa Kingdom is his hometown, and he has no reason to be lazy this time. Well, this time I asked Zhuan Yuan to go with you, so that she could have some experience. Kong said. Sengoku is talking about Momuzagi, a talented female swordsman from the younger generation of naval headquarters, such as Akainu Aokiji, who is generally trained as a future admiral, and is a sister to Vice Admiral, the General Staff of Marine, who has a very good relationship with Garp and is handed over to Garp. Taking care of pointers is the most appropriate. That girl, well, let her have more experience. Garp nodded, thinking that there would be nothing wrong with his protection, so he agreed, but why was he a little uneasy? Who is the mastermind behind this mysterious incident? However, at this time, the heavy-hearted Garp and the others do not know the mastermind behind all these events, and are living a relaxed and leisurely life in East Blue. Goa Kingdom Windmill Village, Banquet Tavern. Sister Machina, look how good you look in this maid costume, my brother wants to take you home. A 17 or 18-year-old handsome young man dressed as a swordsman in black, with black hair and black pupils, was teasing the delicate lowly who was about 12 years old in front of him, tricking her into wearing the cat-eared maid outfit he specially prepared. Although Machina is still young, she looks very cute and delicate, absolutely beautiful, and she is the little proprietress here, so the maid outfit is a perfect match. Brother Chen, start in 3 years. Little Machina smiled slyly. Chen's face froze suddenly, and he was speechless. Because these words were taught to her by Chen a few days ago, and they warned her when she encountered a strange mistress. Cough cough, am I a cocoon? Chen didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Humph, who made brother Chen you like to tease people so much? Little Machina looked proud and very cute. Yes yes yes. Chen smiled dotingly. Brother Chen, you said yesterday that you came out of the fog, so do you know what's inside? Little Machina asked curiously. Chen knew that this little girl was born with a love for adventure, but she didn't have that ability, so she could only listen to other people's adventure stories, so she didn't hide it. There's nothing in there, just an island. An island? Is there a man-eating monster on that island? Little Machina had a frightened look on his face. The village chief warned the villagers not to enter the fog, because everyone who went in was eaten up by monsters, and it was said that there were dragons inside. There are monsters on the island, but they don't eat people, at least they don't eat living people. Chen comforted with a chuckle. Then why didn't anyone who went into the fog come out, and if they went in, they couldn't come out? Little Machina asked suspiciously. Who said it? I'll come out if I don't. As for those guys who don't come out, it's because they take risks inside and don't want to come out. Chen said in a tone of dissatisfaction, dissatisfied with those players who entered Adventure Island. So many people have been in for a week, and none of them have cleared the customs. What a waste! Are you adventurous? So interesting. Little Lowly didn't doubt Chen's words in the slightest, but just looked at Chen with a small head and a curious look in his eyes. By the way, brother Chen, why are you so clear about the island's affairs? Hehe, because my brother is the owner of that island. Chen smiled slightly, and little Machina was immediately stunned. Before little Machina came back to his senses, Chen's heart suddenly moved, and his face brightened. Hey! Finally one can pass the level, and the system can be fully activated now. Chapter 2. What's the matter, brother Chen? Seeing Chen's hurried appearance, little Machina asked curiously. It's nothing, my brother left beforehand, and I'll see you when I have time. Chen said goodbye with a smile, and then his figure flashed and disappeared into the tavern. If there were other people in the tavern, it would be very shocking to see such a dragon's ability to see the beginning and the end, but little Machina was already used to it. Because Chen has told her many wonderful stories, her horizons are widened, she knows all kinds of magical devil fruit, and she also knows what haki is. At this moment, in the center of the island guarded by the endless white mist, Chen's figure flashed and landed at the entrance of the island. At the entrance of the island, there is a special coin-operated machine with 3 guild characters Adventure Island written on it. An Adventure Island is the name of the island. However, its full name is Super Dimension Adventure Island, and the 3 words Super Dimension were deliberately erased by Chen. Because this island is the cheat that Chen crossed into the world of One Piece, he is invincible on Adventure Island, all the dead creatures on the island cannot hurt him, and he can teleport back to the island at any time. The reason why the word superdimensional was erased was that Chen didn't want outsiders to guess the island's ability from its name. Cautious heroes are more popular these days, so be careful. And Chen was actually playing MapleStory a week ago and suddenly crossed over. When he first arrived on the island, Chen was also confused, surrounded by countless coconut trees, bottomless potholes, countless fruits hanging in the air, and head-sized oval gold coins. There are also a large number of basilisks, bat monsters, and pterosaurs that can fly and throw stones, as well as fire dragons bathing in volcanic lava. Isn't this the map of MapleStory from Nintendo's games when I was a kid? At first I thought I had crossed into the MapleStory game. It was not until a merchant ship landed on Adventure Island a few days ago that Chen learned from them that this was the world of One Piece, and the time was the 5th year of the Great Pirate Era. And because someone landed on MapleStory, Chen activated some system functions. The system has 3 functions, 2 of which are currently activated. Function 1, Coin/Adventure. Function 2, Store/Exchange. Function 3, the condition is not met. Coin/Adventure, players who land on the island use their wealth or vitality and soul to buy tickets to enter the island. If you have money to spend, but don't spend your life, you can't enter MapleStory without tickets. Unless Chen agrees, it's useless for One Piece to come. In the novice level, players will not really die in Adventure Island, and they can take away all the gold coins in the level and all the treasures they obtained in the level after clearing the level. If you lose, you have nothing, everything you gained before is gone, and you have to start the adventure from scratch. There are so many gold coins hanging in the sky on the periphery of Adventure Island. No one can resist the temptation of such a large amount of wealth, let alone tame the fire dragon and flying dragon inside as a mount. Therefore, no one who entered the island would be willing to leave. After the player puts in coins, Chen can get the system currency, Adventure Points. Adventure Points can use the shop/exchange function, and the store has everything, Zanpakuto, Ninjutsu, King's Treasure, Devil Fruit, Dragon Ball, Magic Weapons, Blood Jija, and more. But at present, only some common commodities can be exchanged, such as made clothes, common daily necessities, common cold weapons and pistols and other common hot weapons. The Black Swordsman suit on Chen is a novice gift package, with certain attribute blessings. Current properties. System, Super Dimension Adventure Island. Island owner, Chen. Strength, 1 star. Equipment, Black Swordsman suit. Attributes, attack and defense increased by 50%, agility increased by 100%, and additional talent skills, 2 swordsmanship grandmaster. From the novice package. Adventure points, 10,250 points. Chen now has a lot of adventure points, but he can't buy extraordinary goods. Because the player needs to complete a level to unlock the extraordinary goods and fully activate the functions of the system. So, Chen was very dissatisfied with the players who came in before. They couldn't pass the simplest level if they were not strong enough, and they refused to go out to tell others the news and let the strong ones come in. People are selfish. This adventure island is an endless treasure trove. No one is willing to tell others. Even if there are many sea soldiers among the people who come in, for the bottom sea soldiers, being a soldier is just a meal, and justice is worth a few dollars. Chen understands the thoughts of these players, but he is also helpless, because the location of Adventure Island is too remote, and most of the people near Goya Kingdom are weak chickens and can only waste time. When he was bored, Chen could only go out to relax, and then met little Makina at the Windmill Village Tavern, and soon became friends with the simple-minded and gentle little Loli. Today, I thought that the days would be the same as usual, and the funny little Loli will pass. Unexpectedly, the system suddenly prompted, a new Adventure Island player appears, the probability of clearing the first level, 100%. Chen waited for so long, and finally this day came, so he came back in a hurry. Full picture perspective. At the entrance of the island, Chen didn't find the player's figure, and immediately guessed that the other party had entered, so he opened his own Island Master authority and opened the God Vision peeping screen. And when he saw the new Adventure Island player, his expression suddenly became strange. It turned out to be that weirdo. Chapter 3. From the perspective of the whole picture, Chen saw three people. One of them was a young man with a big red nose and dressed like a clown. Chen recognized him at a glance. The clown Buggy, with the ability of Paramecia Chop Chop Fruit, is a very funny pirate. The two next to Buggy, one of them is a thin man with a hairstyle like a hooded doll, and a white sweater with a sleeveless and exposed belly on his upper body. He is the deputy captain of the Buggy Pirates, Machi. The ability to drive animals to do things for themselves. The other is also a tall and slender young man with long hair covering half of his face, a plaid scarf around his neck, a sleeveless cape, and a saber. He is also a cadre member of the Buggy Pirates, Chief of Staff Kabaji, who claims to be himself is a swordsman never recognized. This year's Buggy is only 20 years old, and the entire pirate group seems to have only 2 funny subordinates, plus he happened to be 3 fools. I didn't expect it to be this man with conqueror's luck. Chen couldn't help but smile. He really didn't expect that the first person who could pass the level was the clown Buggy. Buggy the clown is a former member of the Roger Pirates. Buggy had a fever on the eve of the Roger Pirates' trip to the final island Raftel, and the red-haired Shanks stayed to take care of him, so neither of them made it to the final island. Not being able to visit the final island sounds a bit regrettable. It looks like bad luck, but in fact, it is very lucky, because if you go to Raftel with Buggy's strength, you will never live now. And this time, Buggy was lucky. Because he is the first person who can clear the MapleStory level. Although the clown Buggy is not strong, he is a Paramecia Chop Chop Fruit ability, and the bounty has reached tens of millions. In East Blue, he can be regarded as a rare big pirate. It is still appropriate to pass the novice level of MapleStory. It's just the process of customs clearance, tisk. Chen wanted to cover his face for him. The picture is like this. Ha ha ha. A lot of gold coins, these gold coins are all mine. Buggy looked at the level filled with gold coins, and immediately became happy. It was just that Mochi on the side expressed annoyance. Captain, why are there so many gold coins and fruits hanging in the sky? For the first time, seeing such a fantastic island, it is indeed a bit difficult to understand. Is it for the convenience of quenching our thirst when we pick up gold coins? Cabbage was also scratching his head and thinking hard. Idiot, these fruits are fruits on the surface, but they must actually be traps. Just like my Buggy bombs, they explode when they touch. We just pick up gold coins. After the clown Buggy finished speaking, he directly picked up the gold coin the size of a human head in front of him. Captain is wise. Mochi gave a thumbs up. The captain is super smart. Cabbage also praised Buggy's wisdom. Under the admiration of his subordinates, the clown Buggy looked proud. Hey, learn something, keep a clear mind at all times, so that you can make correct judgments. However, handsome for only 3 seconds. Originally, with the strength of the clown Buggy, Machi, and Kabaji, they could absolutely crush those snail monsters, spider monsters, and even easily defeat the first upgraded boss, the Bat Monster. The first mini-level boss of Nintendo Adventure Island 4. Unexpectedly, after only a dozen steps on the road, Buggy, Makai, and Kabaji failed to clear the customs and were forcibly sent back to the entrance of Adventure Island. The system first judged Buggy with a 100% clearance rate, but it didn't pass. And the reason is actually lack of physical strength. Good. In all the levels of Adventure Island, walking and time will quickly consume physical strength, and the fruit hanging in the air is to replenish physical strength for players. If you don't eat fruit, unless you are superhuman, you will not be able to pass with the physical strength of ordinary people. Seeing the picture in the full picture perspective, Chen's expression is full of helplessness, but he really admires Buggy, holding a heavy gold coin, even if the level does not speed up, he will be tired, and he really doesn't eat a bite of fruit, sure enough is a principled person. It is understandable to be afraid that the fruit is poisonous, but it is really an idea to directly believe that there is a bomb hidden in the fruit. This is not a domestic magic film. And even if you are afraid that the fruit will have a bomb, won't you let your subordinates try it? Better than dying halfway through. After half an hour. System, you fool me, Buggy has failed for the 5th time, and the 100% clearance rate is promised. Chen finally got impatient and talked directly to the system. However, the system at this time chose to be silent, expressing that he was very innocent, and he did not expect to be slapped in the face by the player. It doesn't want to have something like this happen. The system can judge the strength of Buggy, showing that it is 100% able to clear the level. But who would have guessed that Buggy's mind would be so bizarre? It's a surprise that it exceeds the IQ calculation of normal people. Found a system error, forced correction, beep. At this time, the system may have felt ashamed and directly adopted coercive measures. Chen was stunned, and the scene in the full picture vision changed. Buggy panting, damn it, why can't I get past this level? Captain, I'm so tired and thirsty, let's eat some fruit. Visually, Cabbage and Mochi had collapsed to the ground. No, I won't eat it, we must insist, this is a trap, eat it if you don't want to live. Buggy still insisted on his position, saying that he would not eat the fruit in the level. Captain, I, et. Seeing that Cabbage, who was about to collapse, wanted to continue to persuade, but suddenly he and Makai were shaking, as if they were dominated by some kind of force, and at the same time jumped up 10 meters high, forcibly unscrew the fruit suspended in the air, and then feed the fruit to Buggy indiscriminately with both hands. Although Buggy resisted, he still didn't stop Mochi and Cabbage from feeding him fruit. However, after being forced to eat the fruit, Buggy was like a newborn, full of strength, jumped up and shouted, I want to hit 10. After that, it seemed to be hanging up, killing a crow flying in mid-air, and a white giant egg exploded. Stomp the dome, get the weapon, firebomb. Unleash the flames at will, blasting through the stones, plus the strength of Buggy's own tens of millions of bounties, easily beat the first level boss. Ha ha ha. I've cleared the level, and this uncle is really invincible. Buggy couldn't hold back his excitement and laughed wildly. Captain Wise. Captain is invincible. Cabbage and Mochi are praising Buggy on the surface, but they are slandering in their hearts, I finally cleared the level, the captain is so stupid. Is that all right? Chen has black lines all over his face, is this an official script? Ding. The system will take coercive measures because it detects that Buggy's brain circuit is abnormal. This is only once, and this situation will be taken into account next time, so there will be no more errors. After the system opened and hung up, an official explanation was immediately given. Okay. Leave it alone. Anyway, just pass. After a pause, Chen asked, the system functions can be fully activated now. Ding. Players clear Adventure Island for the first time. Get Treasure Chest X1. Unlock new features, map/refresh. Map/refresh, you can use MapleStory to open a new map, or refresh the level you have passed. Ding. Shop/exchange, open a new permission, you can exchange for extraordinary goods. In an instant, the dazzling golden light like the sun dispelled the fog of the entire Adventure Island. The entire Goa Kingdom and even the entire East Blue can feel this strong and gentle golden light. At this moment, no one knows what this golden light means. A new era that can change the world is about to begin. Chapter 4. The fog is gone, and Adventure Island is born. In the central city of the Goa Kingdom, on the high city of the palace, you can clearly see the huge figure of Adventure Island. Adventure Island is very large, with dense forests and dense coconut forests in the north. Because of the abundance of vegetation in the central area, it is difficult to see the situation. There is a large volcano to the south of the center, it is an active volcano, and the lava flows under the volcano. There is an island to the left to the north with a huge pyramid on it. To the south is a large iceberg of the icefield, and to the south is a closed crystal island to the right. On top of that, fruit and gold coins hang over the entire island. This is awesome. Wealth is moving. Immediately, it caused a stir among the nobles of the kingdom on the high city. A new island appeared out of thin air in the sea, a spectacle. The king of Goa Kingdom looked in the direction of Adventure Island from a distance and sighed inadvertently. The appearance of the island is intriguing, but it is the gold coins floating in the sky that really deceives people. Looking at the distant Adventure Island, the king paused, and then ordered, "Send someone to investigate immediately to see if there is any treasure in the world." "Yes, Your Majesty the King." After receiving the order, the army commander of the Goa Kingdom set off with many soldiers to the Adventure Island. In addition, in every corner of the Goa Kingdom, many nobles are also coveting the treasures on Adventure Island. "GGG, the treasures are all mine. How can you miss the opportunity to get rich? Dispatch personnel immediately and go. Act now, and never let others take the lead." At this time, on Adventure Island, the corner of Ye Chen's mouth raised slightly, and the system was about to change the gun. And his time is coming. No one can resist the temptation of the treasures on Adventure Island. The more people who come to Adventure Island, the more adventure points he will get, and the stronger his strength will be. But there is one more problem. That is strength. Although Ye Chen was invincible on the island, he couldn't leave the island. He couldn't stay on the island all his life, and he would definitely die of boredom. You have to strengthen yourself first and increase your deterrence. I just rewarded a treasure chest, let's open the treasure chest first. Ye Chen thought about it and decided to open the treasure box first to see what treasures were there. If you exchange the goods first, and then the lottery draws duplicates, then you will get full marks. Ding! Open the treasure chest and get Goblin X1. Goblin, a unique natural elf in Adventure Island, she can give buff elf protection, and those who get buff will be invincible for a certain period of time. Little Goblin. Ye Chen was a little surprised, but he didn't expect that the reward was actually a goblin in the game. Although Ye Chen is the owner of the island, this is the first time she sees the goblin, because she is usually the player who smashes the white dome, so she has a chance to appear briefly, and she will fly away after adding buff to the player. However, after Ye Chen took her out of the treasure chest, he could take her with him all the time, and he could also take her out of the island. As long as she was by Ye Chen's side, Ye Chen's life would be safe. At this time, the little goblin with the size of a slap danced beside Ye Chen and said happily, "Master, Master, Master." Because of the ability to freely appear on the island, the little goblin at the moment is very happy. Ye Chen smiled and slapped her hands open, and she immediately fell on her palms obediently. "It's so good, this treasure box is not bad to open. You can play by yourself first." Ye Chen smiled, let the elf play freely, and then used the system function store/exchange. Checking the store again, my heart is full of excitement, because I can finally exchange the extraordinary treasure inside. As for the current adventure points, because they played Buggy 5 times, each person has a coin, Ye Chen can get a little adventure point. So now the adventure point is 10,265. 10,000 points may seem like a lot, but it's not enough at all. In the shop, Rin Egan is worth 10,000 points, and Tensagan is also worth 10,000 points. Wood Style 10000 points. There are even tailed beasts, but the price varies. Devil fruit also has it, for example, shock fruit, thunder fruit, sparkling fruit are all 5,000 points, but they have all been optimized and have no weaknesses. Zanpakut also has them all at different prices. Kaika Suijutsu, Region Jaka are the most expensive. The rest of the bloodline types are even more praised, such as mutants, bloodlines, elves, giants, vampires, angels, and demon bloodlines. Chen is more familiar with the vampire bloodline, from blood servants to pure blood, elders, princes, and true ancestors. The value is 1,050,000 points. The other bloodlines are similar, and the angel and demon bloodlines are more expensive. By the way, there is also a heroic spirit card pool in the exchange store. You can draw heroic spirits or holy relics. 10,000 points can happen to come 10 times. Of course, heroic spirits and noble phantasms can also be exchanged directly, but there is no incentive to draw cards directly, and the price is 10 times more expensive than drawing cards. Exchange for what? There are too many types and dazzling, which really makes Chen difficult to choose. But one thing is certain, that is to exchange for a bloodline with strong physique and vitality, followed by combat power. Only those who survive are eligible to export. Although he already had the protection of the goblin, he still had to be hard on his own. Chen didn't want to rely on the goblin's buff to protect himself all his life. Then choose them. In the end, Chen took into account his own situation and the attributes of the Black Swordsman suit, as well as the innate skill 2 Swordsman Grandmaster. In the store, I chose 1 bloodline and 2 knives. The bloodline is a bloodline that Chen is very familiar with. 2 knives, 1 ice attribute and 1 fire attribute, cost exactly 10,000 adventure points. There are only 265 points left in MapleStory. So soon, Adventure Island will bottom out, it's really not enough. Chen pouted, although the exchange of goods, the strength skyrocketed, but the cost is also huge. Next, to attract more people to log into MapleStory. After a pause, Chen looked at the system's new function map/refresh. The new map is definitely going to be launched. It is estimated that there will be action on Marine's side soon, we have to prepare a surprise for them. After careful consideration, Chen ordered, System, temporarily close Adventure Island, the previous clown Buggy and the previous players will all be transferred out. After the third function is turned on, Chen can clear the field at any time and close the island because he has the authority to open the map and refresh the map. Everyone was teleported out. Outskirts of the island. What's the matter? This uncle has to continue to go through the barrier. After being forced to quit by the system, the clown Buggy suddenly felt bad, and he wanted to continue to make a fortune. Put me in, I want to eat fruit, and I want to pick up gold coins. Machi and Kabagi were also attracted by the fun of breaking through the levels. Why can't I get in? My gold coins! Damn, it is so close to clearing the level. What's the situation? Suspend the opening. The sailors, pirates, and businessmen who participated in the adventure before were all ashen, unwilling for a while. Looking at the 4 big characters appearing at the entrance of the island, all of them were desperate. In desperation, they had to leave first and then wait for the island to open before returning. Inside the island, Chen smiled and silently watched Buggy and the others leave. To drive them away is to attract more people. They will definitely expose MapleStory, even if they want to hide it, it is useless, those nobles and high-level marines have a way to make them speak. Next, prepare a bigger stage to wait for their arrival. Chapter 5. East Blue. The pirate ship with the Joker flag was full of laughter. Because of this trip, Buggy returned with a full load of gold coins stacked on the boat. On the deck, Buggy shouted loudly, "Ha ha ha, these gold coins are all mine, and my uncle's." The deputy captain Machi and the chief of staff Cabbage looked envious. "Boss, where are we going next?" Cabbage wanted to know the next itinerary. "Now that I have money, of course I want to enjoy it." Mochi was thinking about those wonderful pictures. Hearing this, Buggy scolded directly, "Idiot, what are you thinking about? This is an opportunity, a chance for us to rise up." Hearing this, Machi and Cabbage froze for a while, it was the first time they saw such a motivated Captain Buggy. After a pause, Machi asked, "What's the captain's plan?" Buggy raised his mouth and said, "First go and exchange gold coins for Bailey, then recruit troops, and then prepare for the next adventure. We want to make a name for ourselves in this sea. Captain is wise." After listening to Buggy's plan, Machi and Kabeji were instantly filled with fighting spirit, and their minds were full of beautiful longings. It's just that Buggy and the others didn't know that, just as they were happy, the pirate ship and the marine warship followed behind his pirate ship. A small pirate ship gathers many unknown pirates, planning how to get Buggy's spoils. This Buggy's luck is too good. We haven't cleared the level after entering Adventure Island for so long. He cleared the level not long after he arrived. There's nothing to be envious of, just keep up, wait for the time to get rid of Buggy, the treasure is ours. Okay, I'll contact the Sapphire Pirates immediately, join forces to kill Buggy, and grab all the treasures. A gorgeous merchant ship. It's a pity, all the money has been spent, and I still can't pass the customs. I didn't expect that it was the clown Buggy who cleared the level for the first time. This is too shameless. Follow Buggy's ship, report the matter to the Kingdom Legion, and see how long he can go. On the marine warship, all marines were frustrated that they didn't clear MapleStory. In particular, Major Mouse of the Marine Division was very angry, wasting a lot of military expenses, and finally got nothing. Humph, I can't get it, and this clown can't even think about it. Hearing this, marine soldiers knew what Major Mouse wanted to do, and they all seemed a little nervous and kept talking. What should we do? Clown Buggy is a fruit power. There is a reward of tens of millions of pirates. We can't seem to beat the clown Buggy. In East Blue, a bounty of tens of millions is already a big pirate. Except for the high-ranking officer who is guarding Logue Town, no one can beat him. Seeing all the marine soldiers standing up like that, the little mouse man suddenly got angry. Don't make any noise. After calming down his anger a little, Major Mouse looked gloomy. Humph, then I'll find someone stronger to join forces. 3 days later, on East Blue, a song sailed slowly from a huge warship. On the deck, stood a heroic young female general. The female general opened a delicate face with a beauty mole under her lips. She was dressed very sexy. She wore a marine justice coat on her shoulders. She had long legs like flawless jasper. She was truly a peerless beauty. And she is Marine Rear Admiral Momuzagi. At this moment, the military communication phone bug placed on the warship rang. "Mr. Garp, it's the headquarters contact phone bug." Momuzagi reminded Garp, who was snoring on the couch. However, Garp ignored it and continued to turn to his side, sleeping with his back to Momuzagi. Seeing Garp's lazy look, Momuzagi got angry all of a sudden, picked up the scabbard and smashed Garp's head. The head suddenly swelled a bag. Garp touched his head and shouted, "It hurts, little Momuzagi, you are too violent, be careful that you won't be able to marry in the future." Hearing this, Momuzagi immediately put his hands on his waist, straightened his body and shouted, "What did you say?" Looking at Momuzagi's fierce appearance, Garp's mind came to the image of a tigress, expressing that he couldn't be bothered, and immediately adjusted his attitude, baring his teeth and smiling. "Cough, cough, I mean that little Momuzagi deserves to be the first genius of marine. Beautiful swordsman." Momuzagi snorted and said, "It's about the same." Then hand the phone bug to Garp. Garp had no choice but to pick up the phone bug. Over at Naval Headquarters, is Admiral Sengoku. On the other end of the phone bug, Sengoku's tone seemed a little hurried, and hurriedly said, "Garp, there is the latest information." And Garp didn't care, and still responded with a dull look, "Well, let's talk." Sengoku took a deep breath and said, "Listen carefully, the fog on the East Blue Sea area appeared some time ago, and the fog dissipated, and a small island was shrouded in it. The most important thing is that there are various unknowns floating on the small island. Objects, unidentified creatures appear, and Buggy the clown is said to have acquired a lot of treasures on that adventure island. Hearing this, Garp stood up directly from the beach chair. What? The fog is cleared, Adventure Island? The clown Buggy got the treasure in it. Just when Garp was surprised, Sengoku continued, "Don't worry, listen to me," the intelligence said. "I heard that Adventure Island is like a large game base. As long as you clear the customs, you can get a lot of treasures, and the most important thing is it's strange that the dead can still be resurrected, but the tickets will be wasted. This kind of thing is really unheard of." Momuzagi frowned slightly. Could it be some kind of devil fruit? Garp is also scratching his head. Is there any game fruit? After a pause, Momuzagi recalled and said, "Is there one in the Devil's Manual? But it seems that the abilities and descriptions are not the same. It's really interesting." From Garp's weird smile, it can be seen that he has been attracted by the wonders of MapleStory. After a pause, he asked, "Sengoku, what does the marshal mean?" On the phone Bug's side, Sengoku Kaido, "Marshal's meaning is to let you go into the investigation and find out the truth. It's best to catch the capable person back. This ability is very useful. By the way, he also caught Buggy." Garp said disdainfully, "It's just a buggy." Sengoku said with a serious expression, "He is the only one who has cleared the customs, and he is a member of the Roger Pirates, just killing two birds with one stone." Knowing that they were afraid of the Roger Pirates, Garp curled his lips. "Okay." Just about to hang up the phone Bug. But Sengoku suddenly changed his face and said, "Wait." Garp frowned and asked, "What's wrong?" "Sengoku, when you go back to Goa Kingdom, go to Orange Town, where a war of 10,000 people broke out that engulfed East Blue." Garp was startled. "What? East Blue War?" Chapter 6. East Blue, Orange Town. In people's memory, it was a peaceful land full of oranges. At this moment, it was almost destroyed by the ruthless war. In the waters around Orange Town, 10 warships, more than 10 large and small pirate ships, and 5 warships from the Goa Kingdom are bombarding the town. Their purpose is not to destroy the town, but to occupy the clown Buggy pirates of the town. Although Buggy recruited a lot of pirate brothers in a few days after getting a lot of treasure, it was insignificant compared to the number of enemies. Moreover, these little pirates have almost no experience in fighting, and they all panic when they are besieged. "It's terrible, so many warships. I can't hold it. The number of enemies is too huge. I'm afraid there are more than 10,000 people. This fire is like rain, can we survive? What to do, surrounded by all around, where is the way out? Just think of a way, I don't want to die here." These fleets are all for the treasure that Buggy took away on Adventure Island. After 3 days of fermentation, the news that Buggy got the treasure in Adventure Island has already spread, and the rumors are spread very powerfully. And the most exaggerated statement is that Roger's big secret treasure is in Adventure Island and was obtained by Buggy. This is the power of rumors. It is precisely because of these rumors that tens of thousands of sailors and pirates gathered here to besiege the Buggy pirates. Hearing the sound of the surrounding artillery fire, Mochi turned pale with fright, and asked in a panic, "Captain Buggy, what should we do? Will we die here?" In order to save face in front of his younger brother, Buggy behaved unusually calm, and said with a sullen face, "What are you afraid of? This is just a small scene. When my uncle fought with Roger in Whitebeard, and fought for 3 days and 3 nights woolen cloth. I just added a sentence in my heart, although I was a soy sauce and cheering at the time." However, when these little guys heard Buggy's magnificent deeds, their eyes lit up with starlight, and their expressions were full of admiration. Because the Roger pirates are the strongest pirates in the legend, being able to be Roger's crew also shows that the strength is definitely leveraged. "Wow, the captain is so awesome. So our Captain Buggy is so good. Boss Buggy actually warned the crew of One Piece Roger. Maybe it's the strongest fighting force of the Roger pirates. Yes, Captain Buggy is awesome." Just because of Buggy's boast, the little guys in the audience instantly became enthusiastic. Even Mochi and Cabbage regained their confidence and were full of hope for Buggy. Buggy struck while the iron was hot, raised his fist, and shouted the slogan of counterattack, "Ha ha ha, fight back for this uncle." On the surface, it looked hot, but no one noticed that Buggy's legs were shaking. "Come on, break out of the siege." Under Buggy's instructions, many pirates rushed forward without thinking. However, just as the little scoundrels rushed forward, Buggy was thinking, how can this uncle escape? Buggy never thought of going head-to-head with the enemy, and telling his past is purely to boost morale, so that those little scumbags can be the scapegoats. Luckily, those cute little guys didn't know their captain at all and planned to sell them. If I knew, I would probably run right now. It's just that Buggy wants to escape under the siege of 10,000 people, and it is not as easy as imagined. Among the team that rounded up Buggy this time were the Sapphire Pirates brought in by the Goa Kingdom. This is a notorious pirate group on East Blue, who often colluded with the royal family to do some shameful deeds. Captain of the Sapphire Pirates, Bruce Mr. 5, a burly, ferocious-looking middle-aged man with long hair combed upside down and a blue coat. He is ruthless and ruthless. There is also the Krieg pirate group brought in by Major Mouse. There are thousands of pirates and they are known as the overlords of East Blue. Captain of the Krieg pirates, Krieg, a sturdy man with short purple hair, a bandage on his forehead, wearing gold armor, holding a gold shield, and a large cloak on his shoulders, Grand Master of various weapons, also known as a villain. These people will not easily let go of Buggy. In addition, the captains of these two pirate groups have the strength to offer tens of millions of rewards, and they are definitely considered to be frightening and ruthless characters in East Blue. After an hour. Boom! 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 Under the ruthless artillery bombardment, the buildings in the entire Orange Town were bombed to the ground, and thick black smoke filled the entire town. Seeing that Orange Town was basically destroyed, Mr. 5 Bruce and Krieg each brought their crew members ashore one after another to prepare to clear the scene. Come, here they come. The two notorious pirate captains on East Blue immediately launched a ruthless killing as soon as they logged in, and the little minions of the Buggy pirates suddenly became restless. What a powerful force, this is simply a killing machine. Too frightening. That's Krieg, the man who claims to dominate East Blue. Just when the messenger who constantly receding, magic media stand out, look Tinkling Joseph said, do not panic all, and now our captain adults shot. This magic media have to say, or too young, Buggy's lying and he did take it seriously. But I do not know my heart. Buggy sides tremendous panic, Phi, this is over, escape to go. Because this time the Buggy pirates has been surrounded by a heavy, all sides are enemies, has no retreat back. Go to hell, Buggy. Just when a loss of Buggy, Krieg suddenly jumped out of the hands of the gold axe over his head toward the station. Buggy fiercely hacking down. This uncle to die. Under Buggy panic, not too many ideas, Panic launched a counterattack. Flying apart. He pulled out a knife from his waist to count, through the enemy. Well, a mere knife, can nay woe. Krieg relied wearing gold armor, so direct disregard of Buggy's knife attack, maintained downward movement, wishing each other to break away from the middle. Just did not expect, this knife and imagination are not the same. Flying dispose moment, even put on a fireball. Boom. Fireball has a high temperature, such as lava-like terror, directly melted Krieg's armor, the last knife easily Krieg threw out the body. No. Krieg directly after the move fell to the ground, unwilling to show on the face, which is really wasted. Step down. Seeing this scene, members Krieg pirates were stunned, holding a stunned look forward to freeze for a few seconds, simply cannot accept this fact. Rear-logged army were stunned. Captain Krieg is a wonderful. How could, Buggy how will fire? Is the devil fruit ability? No, I remember Buggy is the ability of the fruit. Two kinds of fruit ability. No, this world has not seen the fruits of those who can double awe. And this time Buggy, little skeptical myself, muttered from the road, I am so naive. When talking, I looked at the hands, before he forgotten the power of what you get in the Adventure Island. Remember now, Adventure Island was in the process of customs clearance. He released the fireball, but can easily punch through the rock. Long live Captain Buggy! Captain Buggy strong invincible! Buggy still in a daze when the messenger who had cheered paused. Buggy moment Xingxin Bao Peng, shouted, ha ha ha, small who kill with me. After clearly has its own powerful, Buggy did not the slightest mercy, facing the enemy continue to release fireball. Hong hong! With the fireball bombardment, launched a massacre. Orange flames continued to burn in town for an afternoon, tens of thousands of the enemy were burnt alive 7 or 8%, and the rest either fled or surrendered. Sapphire Pirates and Gaia Kingdom Corps were completely destroyed. Marine Corps also suffered heavy casualties, to those on the left of a major rat. Mouse trusted in themselves that Identity Marine Major, would like to negotiate with each other, and said, no, you cannot kill me. Buggy, then this will be taboo, but he smiled. Ha ha ha, go to hell. Buggy hideous laughter, the knife towards the mouse to throw a fireball. Seeing the mice immediately become roasted rat. Flying slash wave. The distance, came on the warship, Momuzagi issued a fierce Jiankai, hilltops Duan Lang. A kilometer away, the buggy cut into two. What? With the screams, the mice were killed directly. Major, Buggy unharmed. Momuzagi sank his face, only just dead silence for colleagues. While the other end, Buggy looked tinkling Joseph, smiled and said. Ha ha ha, this uncle is chop fruit immune slash capacity, even if you are the world's first large sword hoe is useless. Damn! Momuzagi angrily. At this point, Garp waved, said. Do not get excited, Momuzagi, rat this guy I heard wind assessment is not very good, nothing cannot fight, they die. Paused, he looked Buggy meaningful smile. Buggy the clown is just how to throw a fireball? Chop fruit can be no such effect, that is to say. All this must be because of that magical island adventure. Chapter 7. Mr. Garp, even if Major Mouse has a bad character, he is still a member of Marine, and he can only die under Marine's judgment. At this time Momuzagi's anger still hadn't dissipated. She had personally arrested all the pirates who offered a reward of 200 million to 300 million, and a clown who offered a reward of 10 million yuan was in the sky. Garp laughed when he heard this. He really had nothing to do with this persistent Momuzagi. After putting away his smile, he said, well, Buggy will be handed over to you. I'll wait for you here. While speaking, he secretly laughed in his heart, Buggy, you are out of luck. It's no joke when a woman throws a tantrum, Garp has a lot of experience with this. I'll be back when I go. Momuzagi nodded in satisfaction, but his expression was unusually indifferent. Garp and the Marines didn't want to go down, because then they wouldn't see her violent side. Girls are very concerned about their appearance. Captain Buggy, invincible. Captain Mighty. At this time, the clown Buggy is still intoxicated by the joy of being sought after by everyone, unaware that his nightmare is coming. Ha ha ha, this uncle is really invincible. Buggy is now extremely inflated. He has just killed a major marine, and escaped Momuzagi's slaying sword. In addition, he has defeated tens of thousands of troops before, and he feels like he is now an enemy of 10,000. There are really many people in this world who have the title of the enemy of 10,000. Quite a lot. But before that, he didn't have Buggy's share, and now Buggy is an enemy of 10,000 people. Are you very proud? I don't know when, Momuzagi flashed behind Buggy, the originally very sweet and crisp voice became very cold, and the voice was full of killing intent. A row of question marks passed over Buggy's head, and when he turned his head, he saw that he was stunned on the spot. When did this woman stand behind him? An uneasy worry arose in his heart. This woman is so fast, if this woman wants to kill him, wouldn't he be unable to react? But it's too late to think about it now. Armed color fist lan. Momozagi's eyes froze, and he directly punched Buggy's head to the ground. What? Under Momozagi's heavy blow, Buggy let out a miserable cry, his face was smashed and deformed, clearly showing a fist mark. It hurts to look at it. Seeing that Buggy's head was directly knocked off, Makai and Kabaji were stunned. Captain Buggy is broken, run. It's horrible, it's violent. Momozagi didn't have the heart to pay attention to those little scoundrels who escaped, because she only had one idea, that is to teach Buggy a good lesson. Anyway, those little scoundrels can't escape this island, and the elite of naval headquarters are waiting outside. Fractured, right. Immune to sword energy, right. Kill the sea soldiers in front of the old lady, right. Aren't you amazing? Stand up. Bang. 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 The sound of frenzied hammering sounded. Momozagi pressed Buggy underground and frantically output. The scene was billowing with smoke, and the picture was too violent. After a violent beating, Momozagi looked down at Buggy, who had turned into a mess, and hummed before ordering the seamen to log in. Half an hour later, the naval headquarters elites cleared the battlefield and captured the entire Buggy pirates. And Momozagi came to Garp with the half-dead Buggy. Seeing the tragic state of Buggy, Garp reluctantly covered his face and shook his head, and said, "Little girl Momozagi, you are too ruthless." Buggy grew up on the boat of the Roger pirates since he was a child. Garp often fights with Roger. It can be regarded as watching Buggy grow up. Seeing what Buggy looks like now, I really can't bear it. Although Buggy will not be spared because of this, it will definitely not be abused if Buggy is caught. Mr. Garp, he's a pirate. Momozagi said righteously. In fact, Buggy is a pirate is only a secondary problem, the main thing is that he is too arrogant. Momozagi's gentle appearance, hidden violent temper, not in place to kill him has been very good for him. Garp also knew that there was no reason to be with a woman. After a pause, he asked Buggy, "If you want to survive, tell me what happened in MapleStory." As soon as the seemingly collapsed Buggy heard the word survival, he instantly jumped up and said sincerely, "What did you say?" "I'll say anything you want to know." Seeing Buggy's sincere attitude, Garp said directly, "Tell me honestly, tell me about your experience in Adventure Island, and how your ability to release fireballs came from. Don't hide it, know what to say, or you know what will happen. How about it?" Hearing this, Buggy quietly turned his head to take a peek at Momozagi, and found that the murderous aura in the other party's eyes was still unabated. He couldn't help shivering on the spot, and after calming down, he said, "I don't know very well, Adventure Island, I'm hugging. I went out of curiosity, I didn't expect to get this treasure." "And then?" Garp said solemnly. Buggy continued, "As for the fireball, I don't know very well. I accidentally stepped on a white dome when I was breaking through the level. After the eggshell cracked, I picked up a fireball. I thought it could only be used when breaking through the level. Unexpectedly, reality has also acquired the ability to throw fireballs." Hearing this, Garp touched his chin and asked suspiciously, "Can this ability be combined with your fruit?" "I guess so," Buggy said hesitantly, since he wasn't sure. Early on, after knowing that he could throw fireballs, Buggy killed him all the way, and didn't think about it seriously at all. "I see, the whole army is ready, let's go." Garp nodded, seeming to have some clues about these wonderful things. "Where to?" Buggy didn't seem to react. Garp grinned and said, "You don't need to ask, of course it's Adventure Island. In the bottom of my heart, I thought, dome, fireball? Interesting." He knew that if he wanted to thoroughly investigate the root cause of the incident, he had to go to Adventure Island in person, and only then could he solve all the doubts. However, At this time, Garp didn't know that in an underground castle in Adventure Island, Chen's eyes flashed his smile. As long as it is a player who has obtained treasures in MapleStory, Chen can see all his movements from the full picture perspective. So know everything that happened to Buggy. Therefore, Chen grinned and said with a mysterious smile, "Hee, it seems that the good show I carefully prepared is about to begin. Use this marine hero as his stepping stone." Chapter 8. The next day. The kingdom of Goya is still so sunny, and the birds and flowers are fragrant. Only today, the king and nobles did not drink tea and enjoy the flowers in Yaxing, but all of them were crying and complaining. Buggy beheaded? No way, does the clown have such fighting power? The sapphire pirates are too useless. East Blue Overlord Krieg, Buggy can kill him instantly. And the leader of the trash army, so many people can't beat Buggy. Yet, it was wiped out by the clown Buggy. But fortunately Buggy was caught by Garp Vice Admiral. As expected of a marine hero, the pride of our Goa kingdom. At this time, a big noble said with a heavy expression, "Your Majesty, do you think Garp Vice Admiral will pursue the filth between us and the pirates?" Buggy was besieged by thousands of people. In fact, these famous nobles are the culprits. With the crown on his side, the 50-something king said indifferently, "Relax, I know Garp Vice Admiral, he won't care about such trivial matters." Indeed, Garp hates these trivial things the most. That's good. The big noble breathed a sigh of relief. At this moment, another great noble said nervously, "But Garp Vice Admiral is coming over today to explore that adventure island." Hearing the words, the king paused, and then said, "Then let's all meet him." In the end, the nobles of the Goa kingdom unanimously decided to wait for Garp's arrival outside MapleStory. Of course, they decided to do this not only because Garp is a marine hero, but also for another important reason: Garp has a strong network among the nobles of the world. On the island of the Valley of the Gods, Garp defeated the Rocks pirate and saved the celestial dragons and slaves inside. As a result, he won the favor of celestial dragons in the Valley of God, and Garp has sons and grandsons, but the identity of Garp's wife has always been a mystery. These nobles, all of them can't wait to get close to someone related to celestial dragons. Although it may not be close to Garp's suit, it is also good to see the style of marine heroes. But these kingdom nobles did not expect that they would see such a scene when they arrived at Adventure Island. Adventure Island, peripheral. The warship was docked on the shore, and Garp, Momuzagi, and thousands of elite sailors, tied Buggy and his deputy captain, the chief of staff, to land. In front of the entrance to Adventure Island, Garp supported his waist with his fists. After looking up at the wonders around him, he turned his head and asked, "Buggy, how do you get in next?" Buggy also explained truthfully, saying, "Just put in a coin." Garp frowned slightly, scratched his head and said, "Put a coin." Seeing that the other party didn't understand, Buggy pointed to the coin slot machine at the entrance of the island and said, "Have you never seen the coin slot? That's the only way to get in." Garp, who has always disliked following the rules, suddenly had an evil idea in his heart, and said with a smile, "Hey, I don't need money to go anywhere. Really, can that take me to the flower boat?" Buggy is also convinced. In an instant, Momuzagi's eyes turned cold as he stared at Garp, with an expression that "I'll tell Sister Crane later." Garp was startled, and hurriedly punched Buggy, shouting, "Damn, what are you talking about? Is this old man this kind of person? This act of throwing the pot is too obvious, but how dare Buggy dare to resist the marine hero in front of him? He just has a feeling that he is dumb and hard to explain." Whoops! Mochi, who was being held behind him, couldn't bear to look directly, and muttered, "How miserable." Cabbage on the side expressed his disapproval of Mochi's statement, saying, "Fart, Lord Buggy is not afraid of power." Mochi shook his head lightly and said helplessly, "It's all this time, and I'm still flattering the captain, it's no help. It's like you can save yourself." What Buggy said was not an IQ question, but a situational question and answer. Mochi was speechless. He didn't expect his old friend to speak so well. At this moment, Garp pointed to the crystal hanging in the sky and asked, "There are no crystals in the information." Buggy covered his head and said, "I didn't come here last time." Mochi was afraid that the captain would be attacked here, and added, "Well, and there is one more coin machine. It seems to be there is an extra coin machine." Cabbage also looked puzzled. Garp touched his chin and frowned, "Is there any difference between these two coin machines?" "I don't know." Buggy shook his head lightly and responded. Next to Momuzagi, thinking that the two coin-operated machines are the two entrances, he suggested, "Should we divide our troops into two ways?" Garp said with a confident expression, "No, I'll go first to explore the bottom, you guys are waiting outside." "Okay." Momuzagi nodded, not stopping Garp. Garp geared up for a while and walked to the coin machine. "Hey, Adventure Island, let this old man see if you are really that magical." After all, Garp suddenly punched. Armed collarbone fist. Bang! A punch hit the coin slot machine, causing a huge shock. You. Many marine soldiers were sent flying behind them. "Ah, it hurts." And Garp, also holding his hot red fist, looked like he was in pain. Momuzagi had black lines on his face, and his expression was a little angry. "Mr. Garp, what are you doing?" Garp smiled a little embarrassedly, "I want to see if I can go in without putting in a coin." Momuzagi's face was full of embarrassment, and a series of humiliating thoughts occurred in his heart. What a shame! I actually want to eat bawang meal. Is this the marine hero? Yet at this moment, the crystals hanging from the sky glowed. A picture is projected. The screen plays, and Garp punches the coin machine and screams in pain. Then, a mechanical warning sound came, "Deliberately destroy the Adventure Island facilities, fine 10,000 Baileys. Next time, it will be driven out of Adventure Island." In an instant, Garp was embarrassed. Because the screen projected by the crystal is so large that it can be seen in Windmill Village and other coastal towns of the Goya Kingdom. It's a good thing it's not loud, otherwise he'd be embarrassed to die. Garp comforted himself. But that's not the end. Just at this moment, a gorgeous and solemn sailboat docked, and the nobles of the kingdom above all had shocked expressions. Obviously, Garp's robbery behavior just now was clearly seen by them. One of the nobles covered his face and said, "Is this what the marine hero looks like?" Cough, it should be, right. The king was also embarrassed in capital letters. And Garp also discovered the arrival of the kingdom's nobles at this moment, and immediately said MMP. He felt like he was being tricked. There seemed to be a pair of invisible big hands aimed at him behind him. "Adventure Island, underground castle," Chen sneered. "Hee, hero marine? It's just this virtue, it seems that I will have to add more later." Chapter 9. "Mr. Garp, why don't I go check it out first?" Seeing Garp's depressed expression, Momuzagi said hesitantly. Garp's operation just now was really speechless. He was old, and he still looked like an old urchin. He was still in front of so many people. From this moment, people's image of Marine's hero was completely shattered. Garp shook his head and said with a serious expression, "No, this island is too mysterious, and your current strength is far from enough." In order to save his dignity, Garp did not agree to Momuzagi's request. The current Momuzagi is just a rear admiral, and his strength is stronger than the average vice admiral, but to reach the admiral level, he needs at least 10 years of training. In general, the gap between vice admiral and admiral is too big. Now Kuzan's strength is already second to vice admiral, but he is only admiral's alternate. Compared with admiral, he is still one step behind. And this island can actually make him suffer a secret loss, which is not something Momuzagi can handle visually. "All right then." Momuzagi responded with some anger. Seeing Garp's disagreement, Momozagi didn't try too hard, because Crane had warned her when she came here that she had to listen to Garp when it came to business. I'm leaving. Garp's expression became steady. Saying that, he walked towards the coin slot machine again, but, just 2 steps away, he turned back. Seeing this, Momozagi frowned slightly and asked suspiciously, "What's wrong?" Garp paused and smiled awkwardly, "I never carry a wallet." Momozagi heard black lines on the top of his head. Then, after some reluctance to lend Garp 10,000 Baileys, Garp put the banknotes in front of the slot machine, the banknotes disappeared instantly, and Garp had a silver coin in his hand. It has a pattern of Adventure Island on it. Interesting. Looking at the introduction of MapleStory in his hand, Garp smiled, and then put the silver coins into the coin machine. I saw a flash of silver light in the void, and Garp's entire figure disappeared at the entrance of the island. It really disappeared. What kind of fruit power is this? Momozagi looked a little surprised. This is the first time I have seen this kind of space transfer ability. But Buggy disagreed, and said with a disdainful look, "Che, what's so surprising?" Buggy looked proud, as if Momozagi and the others had never seen the world. And the nobles of the kingdom are extremely pleasantly surprised, because Adventure Island can finally pass the level again. They also sent people to try several times before, but unfortunately they couldn't get in. I have also tried to forcibly break in, but the entrance to Adventure Island is blocked, and any means are useless. At this time, the marine soldiers also began to talk about it. I don't know what happened to Mr. Garp inside. It should be able to pass the customs. He is Mr. Garp. He won't take away all the customs clearance rewards. Hey, everyone, look at the crystals in the sky. Everyone looked up and found that the screen of Adventure Island was being projected in the crystal. And the protagonist inside is undoubtedly Garp. Momozagi was no exception. He also looked up slightly at the sky, pursed his lips, and said with a smile, "Is it the projection of the screen to break through? This is the purpose of crystals, so it is." Momozagi's brain is very good, and he immediately guessed the purpose of MapleStory. Let people know the internal situation of Adventure Island, and see the countless treasures and gold coins that are at your fingertips, who cannot be moved. Have to say, a good idea. At least Momozagi saw the scene in the island, and it also meant to find out. But Mr. Garp's shape is so strange. Momozagi couldn't help but complain. At this moment, in the MapleStory level, Mr. Garp looks like a plumber. Wearing a red hat, a beard, a red top, white gloves, bibs, and leather shoes, it looks like a plumber. And the Garp in the picture is like this: the head has become big, and the body has become like a dwarf. It looks strange. Outside, a marine soldier suddenly burst out laughing. "Sorry, I didn't want to laugh, I just couldn't help it." Momozagi was speechless, looked at Buggy, and said indifferently, "Clown Buggy, did you all look like this when you entered the level?" Buggy hesitated for a moment, then said vaguely, "It seems to be a new map in the island, and it's not the same as when we passed the level. Adventure Island is so big, he only passed the first level, but now the island seems to be bigger than before, and he doesn't know what's going on." Momozagi pursed his lips and said, "A new map? Shocked in my heart, this island can actually change?" At this moment, in Adventure Island, Garp complained, "Damn, what's wrong with this old man?" Garp obviously noticed his own changes, and became a doll with a big head and short legs. He was really angry. Damn it, it must be that mysterious demon fruit power, there's a way to go head to head. Garp couldn't get enough of it, pointing up and yelling. Unfortunately, no one paid any attention to him, and at the same time a group of monsters attacked him. Several tortoises and several monsters with big heads and feet that look like chestnuts. Garp raised the corner of his mouth and said confidently, "Just this means? It's just a deformed monster, not as good as the weakest sea kings." Garp despised these monsters, holding his fists, and said, "If I can hurt a hair, count me as a loser." Bang! The chestnut monster bumped into Garp. Garp only felt the darkness in his mind for a while, and then the whole person fell out of Adventure Island. What's the situation? Laozi was killed. Garp was a little unresponsive, and had no gaming experience at all. Seeing such a funny picture, Buggy couldn't hold back. He covered his stomach and laughed, "Ha ha ha ha, Garp, you are too stupid. You don't know that when you pass the level, your strength will not decrease, but your physical strength will be depleted faster, and your body will also lose weight. It will become very fragile, and if you are touched by a monster, you will be out of the game, and you have to step on your feet or throw a weapon to kill the monster." However, when Buggy laughed at Garp, he forgot his customs clearance experience, which is no different from the current Garp. Garp hit a wall because he was careless, while Buggy was out of his mind. Why is this happening? Garp looked very melancholy. Momuzagi guessed, it's because players who pass the level won't really die, and being touched and dying is the price. Garp nodded and said, "It makes sense, but Buggy, why didn't you say it before?" Buggy said bluntly, "You didn't ask." Bang! Garp punched him, and Buggy vomited blood again. Then, Garp borrowed 10,000 Baileys from Momuzagi again, and put a coin into MapleStory. Enter Adventure Island again. The chestnut monster and the turtle monster came slowly, and Garp didn't sit still this time. He laughed fiercely and trampled them to death. "Ha ha ha, I know the rules, that's how it turns out, it's a trifle." In the picture, Garp jumped up and down, trampled to death a large wave of monsters, stood on the mouth of a huge pipe, laughed triumphantly, and was as happy as a 50-year-old child. There is no difficulty in breaking through. However, just as Garp was laughing, a piranha appeared from the mouth of the pipe, right under Garp. "Ah ah ah!" With a scream, the men outside Adventure Island shook violently. After all, the position of being bitten was too embarrassing, and it hurt to think about it. Garp is out again due to a mistake in the operation. However, Garp was of course not convinced, and said angrily, "Damn, play a hole, Momuzagi will lend me some more money, Laozi is in trouble with this island today." At this moment, Momuzagi was completely speechless, and he didn't know whether Garp was seriously clearing the level, or he was addicted to the game. "There was some panic in my heart, I don't know if this month's salary is enough." Chapter 10. Ha ha ha, the old man is here too. After Garp got the money from Momuzagi, he re-entered MapleStory and turned into a dwarf plumber. Hearing Garp's laughter was very joyful. A sailor next to him said hesitantly, "Mr. Garp should be fine." Garp's operation makes one have to wonder, has he forgotten the original intention of coming to MapleStory, so that he can find out the ability to control MapleStory? Look at the crystal projection, familiarize yourself with the rules, and know that it shouldn't be difficult to get stuck. Although Momuzagi is still defending Garp, he is complaining in his heart, slandering, "You old urchin, can you be serious, it's all my salary." But the Marines around him felt that there was nothing wrong with Momuzagi Rear Admiral's words, and they thought they could give it a try. Because the strength requirements on Mushroom Island are not high, Mr. Garp's jumping ability on the map is only 5 or 6 meters high, and the Sergeant of Naval Headquarters can basically do it. At this time, the nobles of the Goya Kingdom also looked at the crystal projection with great interest. Before they knew it, they fell in love with this way of watching the live broadcast. "I even want to try it for a while in my heart, The premise is that I don't get bitten by the piranha in the sewer, and I don't know how many organs are hidden." Mushroom Island. After getting a little familiar with the mechanics, Garp's speed in the map also increased, and he said confidently, "Humph, this time, I saw Laozi show off Kamui. After all, I ran all the way, and mercilessly stepped on the chestnut monster on the ground, the turtle monster. When I walked to the front of the water pipe, I didn't jump up in a hurry, but when the piranha emerged and retracted, I took a run-up jump from a distance and jumped over. Ha ha ha, this can't trouble me. Garp laughed triumphantly, but ignored one point. That is jumping too far. Hey, why is there a cloud ahead? Garp glanced at his feet in mid-air, and found that there was nothing underneath, bottomless. FK. Then, it fell straight off. Seeing this, Momuzagi was no longer able to complain, so he lowered his head and covered his face and said, "My 10,000 Baileys are gone again." As Rear Admiral, her salary is not low, but she can't stand Garp dying like this. After Garp came out, he said a little embarrassedly, "Momuzagi, listen to my sophistry. Do you still want to argue?" Momuzagi's expression changed suddenly, and he almost couldn't hold back his rage on the spot. Because there were too many outsiders at the scene, he held back and did not act rough. Seeing the change in Momuzagi's expression, Garp immediately waved his hand based on an instinctive reaction, indicating that he didn't mean this, and immediately said, "No no no, it's an explanation, listen to my explanation." After a pause, Garp added righteously, "Do you really think I'm so easy to die? I sacrificed it on purpose. If I don't step on the trap, can you guys pass the level with peace of mind? I'm doing this for the sake of hello." Garp's righteous and fearless expression, whether Momuzagi believes it or not, he does. Under Garp's forced explanation, Momuzagi was speechless again, and two words instantly popped into his mind: shameless. Simply shameless. But what made her most helpless was the surrounding. "Sir Garp, you are my idol, so great. As expected of a marine hero. It's so selfless, it's actually thinking of us everywhere. Come on Garp, you are the best." Looking at the excited appearance of the surrounding marines, Momuzagi instantly felt that he was isolated from the world, and at the same time, he complained, "A bunch of idiots. They all believe this. Sure enough, what kind of generals are there, what kind of soldiers are there, and those funny soldiers under Mr. Garp will believe." However, in addition to the shouts of the navy, the nobles of the Goa kingdom also cheered. As expected of a marine hero. The pride of our Goa kingdom. Ha ha ha, I just said, how can the marine hero keep being shriveled? Momuzagi finally realized what it was like to be speechless at this moment. There are still many stupid people in this world. Seeing so many people supporting him, Garp took advantage of the situation and said, "Hey, Nizai, you see everyone supports me so much, you have to give me another chance." Momuzagi was exhausted and had no choice but to pay. Garp also did not have any extra thinking, and went through the level again. As soon as Garp entered the Mushroom Island, he shouted, "This time I will definitely pass the level." Then, step by step, he stepped on the chestnut monster and the turtle monster, and walked to the water pipe of the piranha. Instead of leaping over, he stopped to think. This piranha can definitely be defeated, but it has thorns, and stepping on it is definitely not acceptable. Weapons, I need weapons. After so many failures, Garp became cautious and began to think well. Looking at the gold coins hanging in the air, he murmured, "The gold coins are not good, they will enter the invisible backpack when they touch them, and they have no attack power except to increase my load." Frowning, look at the red cube brick floating in the air with the gold coins. Those bricks are a bit weird. It's definitely not as simple as running and jumping. Thinking of this, Garp jumped up and punched the red brick. Bang! The bricks burst. Can it be blasted? And it takes almost no effort. Garp was overjoyed, and had an intuition that these bricks were for them to blow up. There must be something in there. Garp jumped desperately up and punched the bricks. An oversized mushroom exploded, roughly the size of Garp's current size. This super mushroom is not a trap. Garp felt that the mushrooms that he had worked so hard to explode should not be a trap, because it was unnecessary. Garp touched the mushroom. Beep beep. An indescribable force came from the super mushroom. Garp actually merged with the mushroom, and his body size soared. Compared with the previous dwarf, Garp now looks like a giant. On the periphery of Adventure Island, Momuzagi and the kingdom nobles were stunned. Look, look, the marine hero swelled, no, just got bigger. And this mysterious plant? This island is too magical. When you touch it, you can become a giant. If everyone in naval headquarters got the power of this super mushroom, wouldn't it be possible to cultivate an army of giants? At this time, Buggy was also dumbfounded. After looking at Mackay and Cabbage, he wondered, why is it completely different from when we passed the level? Boss, you said that if I became a giant, my power would increase several times. Mochi was full of fantasy at the moment. It would be nice if that was the case. Cabbage's mind also had a longing. In game. Ha ha ha, I feel that my body strength is several times stronger. Garp clenched his fists and clearly felt that his strength had improved significantly. And his jumping ability has also improved a lot. After a good laugh, Garp looked at all the red bricks inside and grinned. Laozi spared none. Bang 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 bang. Ha 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 ha. Destruction, laughter, keep ringing on the pipes. Adventure Island, Underground Castle. Chen shook his head with a smile, and said with a helpless expression, is Garp an adventure or a demolition? But speaking of it, when Chen also played Super Mario when he was a child, he also liked to make smashed bricks. The monsters encountered on the road, the ones that can be killed, will not be spared. No reason, it just feels good. Garp should feel the same way now, didn't you see him smiling like a child in his 70s or 80s? However, it is estimated that Garp will pass the first level soon. Chen murmured, next, the stage I prepared should be shown. Chapter 11. MapleStory, Super Mario Map. Ha ha ha, it's funny, this is a good place to be my sandbag. At this time, Garp hammered out countless red bricks, which felt great. No matter how hard he uses, he can only hammer a red brick in mid-air. It makes Garp, who can only use mountains as sandbags, very happy. He hasn't punched that much since Roger died. It's just that Garp's infinitely destructive behavior left the surrounding marines at a loss. Mr. Garp, what is this doing? For more super mushrooms. Well, it's very likely that Mr. Garp definitely wants to bring more super mushrooms through the level, so that we can get more powerful naval headquarters. As expected of Mr. Garp, our hero. The sailors were all thinking diligently, and the image of Garp was too perfect. However, Momuzagi is very clear about the truth. He was simply happy and forgot about the business. Momuzagi was very dissatisfied in his heart. Because Garp's coins are still her money. Spending her money is not doing the right thing. No wonder Sister Crane used to complain about Garp in front of her. Wait, since it has now been determined that there is no life crisis in Adventure Island, and I also know the secret of customs clearance, why not go in by myself? Even if it fails, it is a very good adventure experience. Momuzagi held his chin and thought for a while, and suddenly made a decision. You guys are bullish on Buggy, I'll be back when I go. Leaving a military order, Momuzagi walked to the coin machine, took out 10,000 Bailey, and instantly exchanged it for a silver coin with the pattern of Adventure Island. This coin is very artistic. Momuzagi discovered that the front of the coin was a macro map of MapleStory, and behind it was a rose. The carving is very mysterious and full of artistic sense. It seems that the owner of this Adventure Island is a very stylish person, and I really want to meet him. As soon as Momuzagi thought of this, he no longer hesitated and dropped a coin. Clang! On the periphery of the island, silver light flashed by, and Momuzagi entered the Mushroom Island. Alas! In the underground castle of Adventure Island, Chen was stunned. He didn't expect Momuzagi to come in at this time, which was a bit unexpected. Garp is almost cleared, what is she doing here? Mr. Garp, that's enough. After Momuzagi came to Adventure Island, her body shape also became lowly, much like the female Yordle in LOL, with big eyes and cute, especially cute. Are you Momuzagi's daughter? Garp, who was already huge, was stunned for a while, not recognizing Momuzagi for a while. Because the current Momuzagi is too small in his eyes, no different from a 3-year-old child. What nonsense are you talking about? I'll trample you to death. Momuzagi got angry and jumped up and wanted to step on Garp's head. She was still a big girl. She even said that she had a daughter.
Hey everyone! If you enjoyed this video, the full version is available on Patreon. I'll be uploading all my content there going forward. It's currently free, but in the future I'll add a small monthly fee to support the channel. Comment or message me what price feels fair for you. Let's make it comfortable for both sides.
Hey everyone! If you enjoyed this video, the full version is available on Patreon. I'll be uploading all my content there going forward. It's currently free, but in the future I'll add a small monthly fee to support the channel. Comment or message me what price feels fair for you. Let's make it comfortable for both sides.